Hello. When my brother and I were in college, we did not have a lot to eat. So we went out almost every day. We bought potatoes and eggs, and that's basically what we had. So I perfected a few things since then. One of the things that I came up with was everybody loves bacon. But I used to always start off with just regular bacon. Then I was introduced to bacon ends. Now this is what I'd suggest for a big group, but it's also cheaper than getting these at times. So bacon ends, the reason why I like this is the way I'm going to cook them, it doesn't matter that they're straight. When I first started baking bacon, I would put them in a pan in strips, then you take it with a fork and you try to turn them over. Well, that took too long. So what we're going to do now is Randy, he's going to open up the bacon ends. At that time, I will turn on the... Then what I do is basically let it start cooking and then start just kind of scrambling it around. There's no real order. I don't like it where you have to keep each strip. At the very, okay, that's good.
There is order.
Okay, you just plop it in. Wow, that is fast. And then you take the stir. How do you turn on the, Randy, turn on the...
There is no fan.
There is no fan. It'd be about this time, be good to turn on a fan.
If you turn it down a little bit, push minus.
I'm a fan.
When you use induction cooking, you don't need a fan.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Well, then I might as well leave. I'm a big fan.
Anyway, as you can see, it takes up the whole pan. As it starts cooking, you know, it's going to start spattering, so you get a lid. And as it does it, it'll start caramelizing. And you'll see the change. Now the change comes very, very quick. And I know there's different people that like it. Some like it crisp, and some like it chewy. So you can make it either way, but today we're going to make it somewhat crisp because that's how my wife likes it.
I'd like to interject that when Brad and I were rooming together going to college, he would make this all the time. It turned out to be my favorite breakfast. And then when he wasn't around, I'd try and do it, and it was horrible. I don't know what it is, but you got to have a knack. Right? What's your knack?
My knack? Well, one thing I like to do, and you'll see it on the potatoes, but as we're doing the bacon, what I did with the potatoes, because I loved having fried potatoes. Not necessarily, and a lot of people like, what is it, hash browns, where they take it and they scrape it on the, I like to cut them up in cubes. So, but I also started peeling them, and so I'm thinking, how can I make this go streamlined? And so instead of peeling the peel, I'd wash the potato, and I'd use a scouring pad, a new one, and you'd scrub the potato. Make sure you got all the dirt out of it, because where does the potato come? It comes from the ground. So you want to make sure you don't have any dirt in it. And then if you have any kind of blemish, you'd cut that blemish out as well. So then I would take a sharp knife, if we can have the camera come this way a little bit, and I would cut the potato in half.
Is this a raw potato?
This is raw, if you do it raw. And then I cut it again in half, both of them.
It's 4 quarters?
In quarters. And then what I do is I put, I don't know if you've ever been to a restaurant or someplace and they're just too big of bites. So I then the potato. So at that point, then you just start cutting your slices. Don't cut your finger. Okay, let's stop there. Let's check on the... Okay, this is going pretty good. Let me get it going a little bit more. When you start the bacon, a lot of times you'll throw it in on high. As you know, even though it has grease in it, it's going to sear to the pan, and you don't want that. So you'd start off at a lower heat to let the juices and then the greases cover the bottom of the pan, and then you can go ahead and heat it higher. So you can see this is going pretty well. There's nothing sticking to the pan. So every once in a while, that's all you do is just stir the bacon. You don't have to take each one and flip it over, because as it caramelizes, the juices and the fats are still cooking it. Therefore, that's when you see the meat change. It's going to become just a little darker each time. So anyway, over here, you do as many potatoes as you want for what size group that you have. Then I found out there's another way, because if you do it raw, you need to take the potatoes right away within the first few hours. Otherwise, what happens to the potato when you cut it open?
Yeah.
It starts turning black, turning brown. That's not appetizing. So one time we went to an activity and they had a lot of baked potatoes left over from a night activity. So we took those potatoes home and put them in the refrigerator. We found out that those baked potatoes, even though they were baked, that they made great home potato fries in the morning. But what was great was we used those all week long. We just take one or two out and cut them up, and it was fantastic. Now, a lot of times you get them with foil on them, that's great. Just leave it on during when it's in the fridge, or if you want to put it in a baggie. But it's easy to cut when it's out of the fridge and it's cold like that. It's very easy to cut, and not like the raw potato. So same thing, same principle. Cut them in half. Cut the halves into quarters, and then you beat it as well. Now, the skins may come off, but that's okay.
But you're not trying to take the skin off.
No, you don't take the skin off. The skin will be good. It becomes part of the hash browns and will taste wonderful. The other thing that I like is and you do it to taste, and that is salt and pepper. I like the pepper, a lot of pepper, because to me it brings the potato out and it tastes that much better as a pop. So I'm mixing these in together. I shouldn't have, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. We're doing pretty good here. Okay, it's been cooking for a while now. Let me try to get this up to show you how it's caramelizing as we speak. So it's just about ready to turn. So what I do now is I'll transfer this to Randy, have him put it out to get the grease out of this, and it's ready. It'll be ready to serve. Now I'll take this pan and I had put some grease.
Pour it in the plate?
No, don't pour it. Do you have any?
okay.
Do you have any tongs?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And then you take your potatoes and go ahead and pour them or put them into this pan.
Either all raw or all cooked.
Yes, either all the all cooked will take less time. The raw will take a little longer, but the reason why I put a lid on it is the steam, as well as being cooked, the steam acts as an agent to soften the potato. And that's one of the things that Randy liked, was he put the potato, a mouthful of the fried potatoes in, and they weren't crunchy. Some people like the crunch, but we didn't.
I couldn't get Mike. Like I was saying, I was so frustrated when they were done. And I was trying to do potatoes; they turned green and soggy. What did I do wrong?
Well, I don't know about the green. How long did you keep the potato?
Old potato.
Potatoes.
Well, they were left over in the garden for the.
Pass me the salt.
If potatoes are green, you should not use them.
It's
It's
the
toxic.
You can cut out the green, but it's the light that turns potatoes green.
What happens
It's
if
the
they-
light,
Sunlight.
so don't look into the light.
Keep it
Okay.
in a dark room.
As I said, to taste, you go ahead and salt and pepper, a pinch here. Ow!
Okay, Brad.
Brad.
What?
Stop. I know pepper's good for you, but yikes.
I'm a pepper.
Now, this is a Teflon pan, so I'm using this. You don't want to use metal. If I use this, my sister would not like it.
If you've seen the bean dip video, there's another great use for an empty can. The grease.
Or, I like keeping the grease, so I let it cool, I put it into a jar, put a lid on it, and I put it into the refrigerator, and when needed, I won't go over it this time, but I make an awesome omelet. So,
Yeah.
but we'll do that at a different time. Anyway, so the potatoes are cooking, the meat's ready, and you can either have scrambled eggs with it or whatever you want. Like I said, I prefer going with the bacon ends. Again, I got tired of taking strip by strip out and finding a pan big enough. These are long and they don't fit in round pans very well. So again, you could use those. I just take it out and throw it in and do the same thing I did here by stirring them. And as they caramelize, that's when you pull it out. Again, with the potatoes, you don't need to peel them. Just take I take a new sponge. Don't use an old one that you've done pans with already, and then scrub down and then cut out the imperfections, and then cut up the size that you want as far as to eat. Okay, these are looking pretty good. Looks like I need to put. I didn't put any pepper on it. Oh. A little sodium. Okay, it's almost ready to go here too. One thing I like about this whole thing, the whole house permeates breakfast. And so you have if you have your grandkids, they'll come running out and you'll be the best grandpa in the world.
And brother.
Oh, and brother.
Are you hinting for bacon?
Okay.
So, Brad,
Now,
if it's raw, how long should those potatoes?
good question. There's a question asked, if it's raw, how long do you cook them? Well, on any of the potatoes, you want them to have some kind of a browning. Now, understand that you want them brown, but because the lid's on, the steam is also cooking it. So if it's not brown, it still can be cooked. But there's something about having a brown potato, golden brown potato.
Mine was a greenie. It didn't work out very good.
What did that show on the fluffy meter?
3.6.
Ooh. And as you can see, the potato skins, they stay on pretty well, and they don't taste bad. I like putting salsa on my eggs and potatoes. Some like ketchup.
Ortega chilies.
Ortega chilies. You can add anything you want to it.
My bean dip.
Except for the bean dip. See, yeah, you see how it's golden brown right here? How it's coming out golden. And you can barely see that it's been peppered. So you can add more for a bite. But also, you know, when you're done cooking, and if the family's not up yet, you can put it to the side, leave it there, and the steam will keep it warm. And so until they come out, don't put it in a bowl, or don't put the pan on the table. Make sure you have a hot pad. If you put it on the table, or you'll ruin your table. That's by experience.
Brad,
Yes.
you keep the pan covered only, unless you're stirring it? Is it covered almost all the time?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And that helps cook it more.
That helps it cook. Again, it's the
Steam.
it's the steam. Thank you, Chuck. It's the steam that helps the process, as well as makes it nice and soft.
Okay.
And it tastes scrumptious. Okay, I think this is done.
Did you put any pepper in it?
I think it could use just a little more.
Brad, nobody's gonna eat them.
Oh, we're gonna eat them. Okay, so this is the finished product here, and here again, it's a lot of fun to do. I'm a breakfast person. I remember after my sisters left and going through high school, I'd go to school hungry, and I always hated that. So I'd be as I'm taking my tests, I'd be thinking of food. So here's the potatoes, here's the bacon. Since the kids aren't up yet, I'll shove it to the side.
You want to talk about your cooking class you took in high school?
Oh, I did take.
That didn't help you at all, did it?
I did take a cooking class since my sisters left. So I found out that taking cooking class, me and another guy that took it, not only we got to eat what we prepared, but we got to eat what the other girls prepared. So we ate very well for one semester. But anyway, I hope you enjoy. Thank you.